when you talk about that, what would you do to build community support for the vision and the plan?
Well, we did a visioning plan in 2000. I think it's time that we do one of two things. We either relook at it and audit it and see where we can tweak it a little bit, or seriously consider doing a new plan. However, if we were to do a new plan, I think in 2000 it cost about $125,000 to do it. It would probably cost $250,000 this day to do it. We don't have that kind of money. So maybe what we need to do is relook at our visioning plan for 2000, see where we made progress, relook at it, see where we need to fill in, and maybe do a mini plan that can be done very, very capably, very subtly, and doesn't take a year and a half or 2 years to do something now as like a shot in the arm to figure out how to embrace the plan and use it for our benefit. When we did that plan, I gotta be honest with you, most of the other mayors that I deal with said, hey, what are you doing a visioning plan? You're the mayor, you should tell the people what they think. I said, it's not like that in Cleveland Heights. So I was very happy with the visioning plan that we did. It's time to revisit it and audit it and look at it again.
Okay, we're gonna move to a new topic now, thank you.
Hi, my name is Louis Paulus. I've lived here all my life, not that saying much.
That's all right.
I'm entering my senior year at Cleveland Heights High School, and I'm the editor of the Black and Gold newspaper.
Perfect.
I'm going to ask you some questions about the schools.
Please.
Probably expected. It is hard to dispute the interdependence of our public schools and city, yet close and supportive relationships are not a given. What is the city government's role relative to the CHUH schools and the Board of Education?
Well, we do a lot together that's on scene behind the circumstances. Our city manager and the former superintendent and the new superintendent meet regularly to talk about different issues between the cities. But I think we have an opportunity here. We're going to get a new marketing director of the schools. I talked to one of the school board members today. They're down to 3 to replace Michael Doherty, who's left. But I think it's really time to convene the city, the schools, and local PR folks to really do a marketing plan for the city for our schools. Very simply. 2 years ago, when school board candidates ran, school board candidate or two said, no, we don't want to do any marketing. I think that was wrong. I think we need to market the schools. We need to get the right people in the room. We need to move towards what Shaker and Beechwood do with their schools as far as marketing them, getting them out there. And when it comes time to pass a levy, levies pass in those cities, lickety-split. The other thing we do, we need to use our PTA folks as ambassadors to go and meet the new families in the community. You visit with them, you see them, you talk to them, you let them know what's about the school, and eventually you bring them to the school for an event, especially when they have 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, or if they just moved here new with a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old. You want to get them on the school property as soon as they're here, and the city can work together by providing that list of new residents to our school folks to make that work and make that be a positive experience for everyone.
All right. We already basically covered a lot of this, but how can the city support the CHUH schools as a community asset and a means to attract and retain families?
Well, we do a lot of support. I personally do a lot of support. I'm in the schools probably more than any other mayor there ever is. I'm in the school to read to the students for student council elections, for plays, Fiddler on the Roof. I support the athletics there, football, soccer, whatever it is. If you talk to Jeff Rodsky or Sean Sullivan, I'm there, I'll be there. We need to have more opportunity, but we also need, I think it's really time to get with the Sun Press. We have an opportunity here. We have a new editor, a new assistant editor, to tell them there's a new day in Cleveland Heights and to stop that kind of coverage. Front page coverage of an incident at the high school or junior high does absolutely no one good. In the Sun Press, the old Sun Press thinks it sells newspapers. I don't think it does. So we need to meet, and I'd be more than happy to work with, I talked to Reverend John Lentz about this when I met with him on Monday, get a group of people together, including myself, and go to the Sun Press and tell them there's a new day. We have a new superintendent, a lot of good things are happening here, and we need to get better coverage from our local newspaper and being the Sun Press about our schools. And I'm more than happy to spearhead a drive in that direction.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Mayor Kelley, I'm Mike Murray, born and raised in Cleveland Heights.
Cleveland Heights graduate.
Yes, Cleveland Heights graduate, and president of Hope Gardens, which is a community garden on Woodview.
Woodview, yeah.
The fiscal viability of our city government is critical to our success. The recent defeat of an income tax increase followed by the housing and employment crisis have diminished tax revenue and increased community needs. What do you believe will make our city government more financially sustainable?
Great question. I think we need to do some of these I've already outlined as far as some of the green building, but we also need to get another round of stimulus in our city that affects small businesses, that affects our commercial districts, and affects people just like us in this room here today. You know, a lot of banks and AIG got stimulus money. I'm not talking about a lot of money, but we need to stimulate small businesses. You're a landscaper, I believe?
Yes.
We
Mhm.
need to do things to help you.
Mhm.
And I think if we don't get another round of this, it's gonna hurt the city. We got money for NSP, which is for the foreclosure stuff. We got money for an energy audit. For energy, we're gonna be doing a lot of good things in the community center, completely redoing the energy there if we get a second half of a grant. We got $100,000 for police money, and we got money for homeless prevention, almost $750,000. There needs another wave of money, and there also needs another wave of money. We're trying to get money to pave Taylor Road. So we need money for infrastructure. And we need some help from the federal government and the state government. We're not all gonna be in the situation that we're in right now. I see signs, as I said earlier, of the cities turning around, moving in a positive direction. And I think the other thing is we need to continue to reach into University Circle, the employment center that it is, to get good people to move into Cleveland Heights. And I'm confident we're gonna continue doing that, whether it be doctors, nurses, professional people, people that work at the nonprofits or the universities.
Great. Now, you already touched on part of this question, but the current housing crisis creates an immediate threat to our neighborhoods and our financial viability. What do you believe City Council should do to address this crisis and transform these vacant properties into assets?
Well, we're already beginning with the 28 houses we purchased about a year ago. And Home Repair Resource Center just finished their first house on Westover, a success. They're moving on, I believe, to Edison and Williams. Next, we have other nonprofits doing it. Some of the houses we've torn down. The $2.35 million I mentioned of the stimulus money, we're using that to renovate properties and to tear down properties that we can get for very, very cheap. I mentioned the green homes and agricultural thing, but we also have loan programs for first-time buyers. We also have the home heritage loan and the housing enhancement loan that we use for our city to help people that may be in trouble but may not be in trouble, maybe somewhere in the middle of the road. And we need to work with private investors, this is very important, to make sure that they don't flip the houses. If that means some kind of an action or ordinance by city council, we don't need the people that were foreclosing on the mortgage and playing that mortgage game all of a sudden get in the housing business and start buying these houses and flip them. That does nobody any good. So we need to have a handle on that also, and we're working towards that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.